Things run smoothly at DIA. We don't necessarily report on it. You don't hear it on shows like this. Kind of like expecting kudos for doing the basics of your job. But when delays happen and passengers and bags start missing flights, you definitely hear about it and you feel it as well. So today, the airport CEO briefed members of City Council on possible solutions. Our Marshall Zellender live at the airport. And Marshall, maybe we should just stop and send you home because it looks behind you like things are running kind of smooth. Doesn't look like news is going on right now.
Well, I mean, kind of like Colorado's weather, wait 10 minutes and maybe we'll have a different story here. The most recent issue here at DIA was a software glitch over the weekend that caused bags, a couple thousand of them, to not make the flights with the passengers that brought the bags. But early last week, the problem is where I was standing, where there were long security waits at these brand new security lines, and this is the longest wait we've seen so far. Just a few hours ago, Airport CEO Phil Washington updated members of City Council on some of the solutions he has for some current issues.
In many ways, we are rebuilding this airport.
That's not a surprise to any traveler through DIA since the summer of 2018, when construction on the Great Hall began. That project to move security screening to the upper level finally saw one of the security areas moved to the upper level. But just like when it was down below, security wait times are contingent on TSA staffing the lines.
We do not control TSA, as you know. However, we are working with them to hopefully increase the TSA headcount at DEN.
After his presentation to members of City Council today, DIA CEO Phil Washington told me TSA staffs the airport with 941 agents. In 2019, with fewer passengers, it was more than 1,000 agents. Can you withhold any funding? Like, I don't know how much you pay TSA, but can you withhold anything and be like, we're serious?
No. Tough love is, explaining to TSA the impact of short staff is for our airport. When we have delays in Denver, it impacts the entire country.
Washington also updated the council on this weekend's baggage delays caused by a software problem, which led to an interesting question from Councilwoman Chantel Lewis.
I'm curious if the folks whose flight left and their bags didn't, do you all pay for those bags to be delivered to those individuals once they get to that destination?
We work with the airlines. It sort of depends, but we work with them and engage with them. It's a case-by-case basis.
Hang on, case by case? That suggests DIA has paid for baggage delays. That requires a follow-up. You said it's case by case, but has DIA ever paid for someone's bag not making it to their destination?
Not to my knowledge.
That's why you always follow up. Maybe, Mark, we should do more stories like this when there is no line, because we do so many stories when the line exists here. One other update Washington gave to the members of City Council is that as DIA reaches 100 million passengers, he wants to expand the number of cars that can take passengers between the concourses. So instead of 4 entrances into the train, he wants to build a 5th and 6th door. But mind you, that would take construction, and I've been told that the airport is not under perpetual construction.
It's definitely not under perpetual construction. Anybody who's flown out of there would know that. Marshall, when you see someone like Phil Washington in front of City Council answering those questions to those people, you think about all the other conversations that have been had in that room recently, and a lot of them involve budget cuts. Will DIA have to cut its budget?
No. And we've answered this question several times over the years, that DIA spends money, generated money at DIA. And so they do not have to cut any of their budget because they're spending money that does not affect the rest of the city, and they don't get money from the rest of the city. All the City Council does is basically approve writing the check that DIA is asking for. It's DIA's account, and City Council is the parent that has to write the check.
Interesting. DIA actually looking pretty good right there. Marshall, thank you.